Introducing the book review of The Art of War by Sun Tzu, brought to you by the brilliance of artificial intelligence. Because who needs humans to write book reviews when you have AI? Joke aside, now let's jump into the book summary. The Art of War is a Chinese military treatise written by Sun Tzu in the 6th century BC. The book is considered one of the most influential works on the subject of warfare and strategy, and its principles have been applied not only to military conflicts, but also to business, sports, and other fields. One of the most famous quotes from the book is, "All warfare is based on deception." This highlights the importance of deception and surprise in warfare, and the idea that a successful commander must be able to outsmart his opponents. Sun Tzu believed that the best way to win a war is to avoid fighting one altogether and to achieve victory through diplomacy and strategy. The book is often compared to Machiavelli's The Prince, in the sense that both texts are seen as guides for those in positions of power and authority. Sun Tzu's principles are still studied and applied in military academies and business schools today. The book's popularity has led to its being referenced in pop culture, including in movies, TV shows, and video games. Fun fact: Sun Tzu's famous book was originally written for a king to help him win wars, but now it is used by business managers to help them win in the corporate world. Chapter 1 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is called Laying Plans. It sets the stage for the rest of the book by emphasizing the importance of planning and strategy in warfare. Sun Tzu argues that a commander must be able to assess the situation, understand the enemy, and develop a plan that will lead to victory. He also stresses the importance of flexibility and adaptability, as plans may need to change based on new information or developments. Additionally, Sun Tzu advises that a commander should not reveal their plans to the enemy and should be aware of their own weaknesses and strengths. Overall, this chapter lays out the foundation for the book, emphasizing the importance of understanding the enemy, planning, and flexibility in achieving victory. Chapter 2 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is called Waging War. In this chapter, Sun Tzu delves deeper into the strategies and tactics of warfare. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the enemy and oneself, as well as the environment in which the battle will take place. He also stresses the importance of knowing when to fight and when to avoid battle, and the need to understand the relative strengths and weaknesses of both sides. Sun Tzu also highlights the importance of using spies to gather information, as well as the importance of diplomacy and alliances in warfare. He also talks about the different types of terrain and how they can be used to an army's advantage. Chapter 3 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is called Attack by Stratagem. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about different strategies and tactics that can be used to deceive and outsmart the enemy. He emphasizes the importance of creating confusion among the enemy and taking advantage of their weaknesses. He also stresses the importance of understanding the enemy's strengths and weaknesses and using them to one's advantage. He also talks about the importance of flexibility and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances during a battle. Chapter 4 of The Art of War is named Tactical Dispositions. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of positioning and formation of the troops. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the terrain and using it to one's advantage, as well as the importance of understanding the enemy's formation and how to exploit it. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining good communication and control over the army and how to achieve unity of command. Chapter 5 of The Art of War is named Energy. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of maintaining the energy and morale of the troops. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining a strong offense and defense and how to maintain the balance between the two. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining the supply lines and the importance of timing in battle. He also talks about the importance of having a strong leader and a good command structure. Chapter 6 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is called Weak Points and Strong. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of identifying and exploiting the enemy's weak points while defending against their strong points. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the enemy's strengths and weaknesses, as well as one's own, and how to use them to one's advantage. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of being flexible and adaptable, and being able to change one's strategy and tactics as needed. He also talks about the importance of knowing when to fight and when to retreat and how to use terrain to one's advantage. Chapter 7 of The Art of War is named Maneuvering. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of movement and positioning of troops. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the terrain and using it to one's advantage, as well as the importance of understanding the enemy's movements and how to use them to one's advantage. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining good communication and control over the army and how to achieve unity of command. Chapter 8 of The Art of War is named Variation in Tactics. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of being able to use different tactics and strategies depending on the situation. He emphasizes the importance of being flexible and adaptable, and being able to change one's strategy and tactics as needed. He also talks about the importance of understanding the enemy and oneself, and how to use this knowledge to one's advantage. Chapter 9 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is called The Army on the March. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of logistics and supply management during military campaigns. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining a steady supply of food, weapons, and other necessities for the troops, and how to properly plan for and manage these supplies. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining good communication and control over the army, and how to achieve unity of command. He also talks about the importance of maintaining discipline and order among the troops and how to handle desertion and other issues. Chapter 10 of The Art of War is named Terrain. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of understanding and utilizing the terrain in warfare. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the different types of terrain and how they can be used to one's advantage. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining good communication and control over the army and how to achieve unity of command. Chapter 11 of The Art of War is named The 9 Situations. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about 9 different situations that may arise in warfare and how to handle them. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the enemy and oneself, as well as the environment in which the battle will take place. He also stresses the importance of knowing when to fight and when to avoid battle, and the need to understand the relative strengths and weaknesses of both sides. Chapter 12 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is called The Attack by Fire. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the use of fire as a weapon in warfare. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the enemy's vulnerabilities to fire and how to use this knowledge to one's advantage. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining good communication and control over the army, and how to achieve unity of command. He also talks about the importance of maintaining discipline and order among the troops and how to handle desertion and other issues. Chapter 13 of The Art of War is named The Use of Spies. In this chapter, Sun Tzu talks about the importance of using spies in warfare. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the enemy's vulnerabilities and how to use this knowledge to one's advantage. Sun Tzu also talks about the importance of maintaining good communication and control over the army and how to achieve unity of command. He also talks about the importance of maintaining discipline and order among the troops and how to handle desertion and other issues. He also emphasizes the importance of good espionage, how to recruit and handle spies, and how to use them to gain information about the enemy. In conclusion, The Art of War by Sun Tzu is a timeless classic that offers valuable insights and strategies for achieving success in any endeavor. Some of the key philosophical takeaways from the book that can be applied to our daily lives include the importance of understanding one's own strengths and weaknesses, as well as those of one's opponents. The value of careful planning and strategy, rather than relying solely on brute force. The power of deception and surprise as a tool for achieving victory. the importance of adaptability and flexibility, both in military conflicts and in life in general. But let's not forget that Sun Tzu also reminds us that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. So, next time you find yourself in a tricky situation, remember to channel your inner Sun Tzu and outsmart your opponents with diplomacy and strategy.